What does it mean to you to be named team captain?
It's honestly something that I've thought about for, the past couple of years. It means everything. That's just I think it means more too because it comes from, your peers, obviously coaches and players, you would like to receive that honor from your peers. But I think it means a great deal. Guys step into leadership roles and you can kind of feel like, okay, I'm a leader on this team. I know what I have to do. I know what's expected. But to have it like kind of written in stone, it makes it a little bit more real. And it's an honor. It's truly an honor. And I'm excited for this year.
Does it resonate more this season for you, given kind of the urgency, what's at stake for this team? Is it, it's a role, you'd always take it seriously, but does it feel like you need to be one of the guys driving the same so you get off to a good start?
Oh, for sure. And honestly, as a leader, as one of the leaders on this team, I want to be put in that position. That's where, greatness happens, is when you're put in a tough position and then you find ways, not individually, but as a team, as a collective team, you find ways to persevere and to push through and to eventually make things happen, because that's all that anyone cares about. No one really cares about the details of how it happens, but as long as it happens. And so I can speak for, the most of the guys on the team saying, we want to be the team that kind of turns this whole thing around and to get back to where the Broncos have always been.
Justin, if we don't talk to you before the game, we just hear impressions of Daniel Jones, Saquon, and then Kenny Golladay there at receiver.
Yeah, they have a great group. I know, the talk, of last year has been, some of the things that have happened offensively to them, but they're a great group. I think Daniel Jones is a really good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback for this league, and they have a lot of weapons that he can utilize on that offensive side of the ball. Like you said, Barkley, they got Golladay as an addition. They got Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram. They got Kyle Rudolph in the offseason, some great tight ends that they have over there. And they got a great running back room, receiver room. They got it all. And so defensively, we have our work cut out for us week one. All this offseason, we talked about how we wanted to be the best, and we're going to have to go out there and prove it week one against New York.
Hey, Justin, in your experiences for a week one game, how many surprises are there in the first quarter and a half that you guys have to adjust to on the sidelines?
Yeah, there are always surprises. Week one, especially when you got so many different weapons, right? They got Golladay. Slayton was a big guy that they went to last year a lot, and so you never know truly going into a game how things are gonna, what they're looking for, what the flow is gonna look like, and so. As a defensive unit, you got to be able to adjust. That's the biggest thing. You may do well in the first half, and they're going to have some things that they change in the second half, and you got to be able to adjust to it. Or you don't do as well in the first half, you got to make adjustments at halftime and come out in the second half and be able to execute your adjustments. And so that's really what the first game is about, going in with that solid game plan and adjusting from there.
Justin, you played with Chris Harris and Aqib Talib. You could always hear those guys. They always let you know when they were making plays, talking out on the field. This group seems to be very talented, but different in that way. Are they as quiet as they perhaps seem? And what's kind of that like, having experienced two such different, sides of that spectrum?
Yeah, Aqib really, like, the whole no-fly zone was kind of loud and boisterous, and they let you know when they make a play, right? And my personal game style is not that way. Obviously, in the moment, you get hyped up and you make plays, but just you're talking about TJ, Stu, Aqib, Roby, Chris, those guys always, no matter what, we're gonna let you know they make a play, and that was their MO. That's who they were, and they did it. I think this group carries that same type of confidence, but probably just isn't as loud or as boisterous as that. And it's cool, man, finding your own groove as a secondary. And I think we're gelling together really well. And, the biggest thing that's going to be important is making sure that shows up on Sundays when we're out there, trying to execute in the back end.
When you talk about a guy like Saquon Barkley, how do you prepare for someone like that, especially in practice when you're not, tackling and things like that? How do you prepare for something like that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely difficult, but you got to lock into the details of practice, right? So you're not out here tackling and thudding and things like that in practice. So you got to be able to hone in on the little things, making sure you have bend at the point of attack, making sure you're getting your mental reps in terms of how you're approaching every tackle. So all the way up until the actual hit, you got to prep as if you are playing that rep live. And you just got to trust that process. And when it gets over to the game, you got to trust that throughout the week you've been doing the little things leading up to the week that are going to make you successful on Sundays. And so, but by no means is that an easy task, especially when you're talking about someone as talented as Saquon.
Hey, Justin, because Vic trusts 4 corners out there at the same time, what will that allow you to do in terms of play in the middle of the field and maybe hunt for some takeaways?
Yeah, no, I think that allows both Kareem and I to be a little bit more flexible. We've already been in the system now for 3 years, and we have a little bit of control of kind of like what's expected, where our weak points are at on the defensive call, what we like to get in. For those corners that are out there, like what help do they need? What help do they not need? Things like that, So I think it's going to make us just a little bit more flexible, and then not to mention our rush. Getting after the quarterback. I mean, quarterbacks aren't going to have that much time to be figuring out, what we're doing and what we're taking away, what we're not, things like that. So I'm just excited.
Are you aware of when a guy like Daniel Jones has had some turnover issues, that there might be chances to make play on the ball and maybe you don't see against the Derek Carr guys that really just kind of throw it away? I mean, going into this week, are you kind of as a secondary aware there might be more chances?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. We made it a big emphasis, this offseason that one of our weak points was not getting the ball as much as we should, and that's just been a huge talking point. All offseason, that's all we hear about. And that's all we go over. That's all we emphasize in practice. And so this is, no better chance than to put that on paper going into week 1. And, I'm sure they've heard about it on their offensive side of the ball, whatever, taking care of the football and things like that. But that's something that, we really need to make a point of emphasis on as a defense.
Do you guys maybe have a set number you want to get for a season, or is that not something you guys think about, like a goal for how many you want to have a game or in the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no set number, or maybe numbers that I'd probably share, but there definitely is a goal. I mean, that's number 1 on the goal board is just takeaways. I mean, literally number 1 every time we walk into the room we talk about is just takeaways. Watch takeaway tape, emphasize it in practice. That's all we're focused on.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Justin.
Justin.
Thank you.